Beyond just passively finding errors, you can use good language style proactively so that the compiler can help you avoid mistakes. One example is you should always use an enum instead of integers for enumerated values, such as those used in switch statement cases. In this example, we've defined a color with specific color values that are permissible instead of trying to use #define integer values. More generally, use the const keyword instead of #define. Const can be very helpful because it imparts typing information. So in this example, if we use #define x to set a value to 1, that would result in a code bug because x would default in most compilers to a 32-bit integer, and shifting a 32-bit integer by 40 bits is generally undefined behavior. But because we defined x as a const, the compiler knows that this is supposed to be a 64-bit operation, avoiding a potential bug and avoiding the need for a cast to clutter up the code. Continuing the theme of trying to avoid #define, you should also use the inline keyword instead of #define so that you can avoid almost all macros. Inline gets rid of the subroutine call overhead for short subroutines of perhaps 10 lines or fewer. If the compiler complains the subroutine is too big to be inlined, then probably the overhead for the subroutine call ends up not mattering. Next, you can use typedef with static analysis strong type checking to avoid unit errors. In this example, we have different typedefs for feet and meters. While it sometimes takes additional hints to the static analysis tool so that it knows you want strong typing, a tool could detect in this case that we're attempting to assign feet to meters without doing the appropriate conversion. A bug like this involving a mismatch between English and metric units was responsible for the loss of the Mars Climate Orbiter mission in 1999, which burned up in the atmosphere of Mars rather than entering orbit. Finally, because embedded systems have varying word sizes, it can be extremely helpful to be explicit about the size of a variable, such as using int32_t for assigned 32-bit integer instead of plain old int. The standard int.h header provides a standardized C language way to do this.